Welcome, everybody, to the Art of Being an Artist, episode 5. I'm here with Katie. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Katie, otherwise known as Bass Angel KT on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. And I've been shuffling for around a year and a half. And if you don't know what shuffling is, it's basically this style of dance that goes along with EDM music, which is electronic dance music. And it's high-paced, fast, and lots of intense footwork and cardio. So I've been doing that about a year and a half, and I met Malachi actually right when I started my shuffle journey. So we've actually been sort of like tagging along with each other this whole time for about a year. And when he asked me to do this podcast, I was 100% down.
Yeah, it's been really cool to like watch each other grow just from the beginning. I mean, I started producing a year ago, and it was pretty close to when you started shuffling, so that's been really dope. I was just curious, though, how has shuffling helped with your own mental health?
Oh, this is a big one.
Yeah, pull out the big guns for this.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so a little bit of backstory on my mental health. I have been dealing with mental health issues since grade 7 when I was in middle school. And it started out with just not liking my body, not being comfortable or feeling secure in the way that I looked. And I would always compare myself to all these other girls because they were all going through their growth spurts and they were all getting skinny and I was still growing outwards, you know? And that's when it started. That's when it really started. So I started developing depression at first, and then a year later that translated also into anxiety. So throughout those first 4 years that I dealt with my mental health, it was complete shit. Like I'm not kidding you. There was days where I'd be crying on my bathroom floor, just not okay with being who I was and being where I was in my life. And then I got introduced to shuffling. And the minute I saw shuffling, I was like, I want to learn this. And I've been doing gymnastics and dance my whole entire life. Like I was singing in the church. Like I was always involved with arts and music and dance and stuff like that. So when I found shuffling, I was like, yo, this is right up my alley. I'm going to do this and I'm going to learn. And I knew from the beginning that it was going to be a process. Like I watched Mary Grace and like Vanessa Secco and Cece and people like that. And I would always look at them and be like, I want to be able to do that one day. So I worked my ass off and I shuffled pretty much every day. I did so many 30-day shuffle challenges. And throughout those consistent challenges and consistency of pushing myself to want to get better with my shuffling, it actually, it pumped endorphins into my brain and made me happy. So for me, I found that shuffling was my escape from life. So whenever I would get really upset or anything, I would just go and shuffle. And that was my solution to everything. So that's how it's really helped my mental health.
Yeah, really cool. I love what you do with your platform as well, because I noticed that you always check in on everybody else's mental health, asking how they are. I just think that's really cool. Do you feel like you've made a little bit of an indent on that kind of community? Do you think you've like influenced it even a little bit?
Totally. I think like I've had people personally message me with my posts and saying, hey, this really helped me. Thank you for sharing this, because personally, this is something I wouldn't ever be able to share. But the fact that you were able to share it and the fact that you were able to come forward and say this and tell others that you're not alone in the situation, it really gives people a sense of security, I feel. And that's like kind of what I wanted to do with, my platform, is I knew that to be like anybody can be an influencer, right? To be an influencer, all you need to do is influence people. Just pretty simple. These days, everyone always thinks of influencers being famous, but no, being an influencer is being someone that has an impact on other people. So the way that I wanted to do it is I wanted to showcase my personal journey with shuffling as well as my personal journey with my mental health, because it's a roller coaster. It has not been easy. And I know from personal experience that talking to other people that have gone through it, they've found other solutions and like worked away from mental health issues. So I wanted to inspire others to be willing to do the same thing and willing to work towards the same thing, because I find a lot of the times when you have mental health problems, the first step is the hardest.
The realization is probably one of the hardest parts. And that's why it's amazing to have a platform or a community where you can have all these people who struggle come together and work through things together. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with like this podcast, because everyone's an artist in some way or another, looking to like find their way and improve on themselves and their craft. And I also think that the mental health aspect is a big issue, and everybody has mental health issues to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, some days my mental health isn't as bad as other days. Like, say today, for example, today I'm up and I'm on call with you, and I have things that I got to do today that I know I'm going to get done. But say yesterday, for example, I was crying all morning, like literally until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I was just like straight crying because I was just upset. And like, I want people to know that that's okay to have those days. And it's okay to take a step back sometimes. And like, if you need to, just log off of social media or don't find validation in other people, because I find that a lot of people these days are finding validation in numbers and in likes and in comments and all these different factors that aren't really sustainable. Like, you want to build a real following, you want to build connections with people, and that's what I really try and achieve with my account.
It's beautiful. I really love it. What is a way that you actually push through those down moments?
Um,
Is it the dream that keeps you alive? That keeps you going?
Honestly, it is. It's the fact that I haven't achieved all that I want to do yet. I want to go and I want to do shuffle collaborations. I want to travel. I want to take shuffle classes. I want to do all these things. And for me, just like, I have those bad days, but I know that tomorrow is just going to be a new day. Like, I can restart, I can reset. And that for me is just a really nice reminder in the back of my head that helps me keep going, because I'm like, you know what, this isn't forever. It's just right now. This is what I'm feeling right now. And you know what? My feelings are valid. I can feel them. I can express them. And, you know, once that's over and done with, it's over and done with. Tomorrow's a new day.
And one thing that I found that I've kind of caught myself doing at points is one day I'll mess up, I'll waste the day, but then I'll spend the whole next day thinking about how I wasted yesterday. And that's where I get like tripped up, because you're just making it worse.
Totally. You're just getting in your head at that point. And I think, like, I've been through years of therapy at this point. So I sort of know how to cope with what I want to do, right? So, yeah, it's like, you just got to really make sure that you don't get in your head about anything.
Yeah, you just got to take every day as is and just go from there. Work your way up.
Only move forward.
Where do you see yourself taking the Base Angel brand?
So I have some, excuse me, my throat's just acting up. I have some exciting things coming very soon. I am going to be doing or providing a little more information about one-on-one shuffle classes, as well as hosting more group classes over Zoom, as well as like different levels, so beginner, intermediate, stuff like that, you know? And then I also, I don't know if I want to say it because it's kind of a big surprise, but this is something in the works, something very exciting and something that I would 100% support. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we're excited. I'm really curious to know how has it been being an affiliate marketer? Because that's something I'm going to eventually do. And I'm sure a lot of artists out there are currently or going to get into that space.
Totally. It sort of depends on the brand. For me, I'm an affiliate for a bunch of ravewear brands like I Heart Raves, Freedom Ravewear, Rolita Couture. You like for those, you can all use the code Base Angel. Shameless self promo. But yeah, it's like for those, the way that it works is sometimes you have to apply. Other times you are contacted by the company to be an affiliate for them, and then yeah, you contact the company, you get a code set up for yourself or others to use, and then you just share it on your story and you get a discount on some of the stuff. And then a certain percentage of the money that you make through the affiliate links as well will go back to you. So like I Heart Raves, I think it's 7% of their whole order. It will go back to you. So it supports you as a business, as a brand, as well as supporting the other brand as well.
Right. Yeah, and I guess it's very important to pick a brand that you really vibe with, one that you can kind of connect and have similar interests with. That's very important
Totally.
as well.
I mean, like I've had watches brands reach out to me and I'm like, hey, like I appreciate the offer, but I don't think my followers would be interested in buying a watch. Like it's just one of those things. It's just like you kind of got to think about your niche and where you stand and what you want to promote to your followers, what you think will actually get a good turn back and a good revenue from it.
That's the other thing is when I think about promotion and that kind of thing, what comes to mind is you put out so much free content, so much like thinking of the audience. So the one time that you do make like that ask, it better be a good ask. It better be something that you connect with and you vibe with and that your audience will enjoy. Because
totally. Like,
selling your audience watches, they're going to be like, what?
Exactly. Like I thought that was the perfect example because it's so not my brand at all. Like my brand is mental health and shuffling and my weird ass life. Like that is it.
So where do you see yourself taking your brand? What direction do you kind of want to go down?
I definitely want to do more production centered projects. Like I have a couple different meetings set up with photographers that are local around my area. So I'm going to get some really good quality rave pictures up. So I'm excited for that. And then I'm also planning on, like I said, traveling and doing shuffle collaborations. So I really want to just build up a great community of people that want to improve their mental health, like struggle with their mental health. And like, I want people to know that it's okay to have bad days, have good days, mess up in videos, laugh at yourself. Like that's what I want people to understand.
And just have fun with it.
Exactly. That is the basis of what I am doing. Like a lot of the times my face doesn't show it because I'm so concentrated on what I'm like doing. But when there's videos of me just randomly shuffling, I always have the biggest smile on my face because I'm having the best time of my life.
I can definitely see that. I can promote to that. It's really cool seeing like that huge smile as you're just like in the moment doing your thing. It's
totally.
really
You're
cool.
Just feeling the music and feeling it like course through your body and the different motions and the different like ideas that just come to my head is just.
I'm sure at that point, like you're not even thinking about it. It's more of just your body kind of going and you're just kind of following along. It's really cool.
My arms are like that wacky inflatable. Like,
those like inflatable guys
all around everywhere. And it's like my legs are actually doing something.
Oh.
You got to laugh at yourself. If you don't laugh at yourself, you're taking life too seriously.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we all go through work periods or times where like you might not want to do what you're doing. Like I don't particularly, I don't know, enjoy video editing, but you know what? I mean, you kind of have to get that work done so you can get to the other stuff that you really enjoy. And that's just part of the process.
Totally. And I mean, that's kind of like the same thing with shuffling. Like you want to learn the basics and you want to get the fundamentals down before you get to the more advanced stuff, before you want to grow your brand, before you want to grow your following, grow your connections. Like you want to have the basic and the fundamentals down. So I totally get where you're coming from. But like for me, that's a totally different spectrum because I love video editing. Like video editing is one of my favorite things in the entire world.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like I just got Premiere Pro, so I'm like taking a class on it because it's like a little advanced. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a learning curve, and I like it's not terrible. I'm just not a big fan, but I know like the more I'll do it, the more I'll eventually like it because I actually know what I'm doing at some point.
Oh, totally. Like for me personally, I use iMovie.
Okay.
And people can't tell with my videos that I use iMovie. It's all about learning what you have and how to use it and to make it work to your advantage, honestly. Because let's be honest, we all don't have $400 to go drop on a video editing software just because we want to make good videos. Like if I
and you don't even need that.
Yeah, you genuinely don't. Like I did it on iMovie. I made music on GarageBand before I started my shuffle shit. Like, don't laugh at me. I know you're going to laugh at me. Don't laugh at me.
I'm sorry. I just think it's so funny that she was making music on GarageBand. I mean, I ain't hating. Like, it's a great program. It's just, like, really funny.
I find it was the same thing with iMovie. You just got to learn how to use it. And once you learn...
Exactly. And once you learn the basics, you can kind of transfer to any other software in that realm.
Exactly. And that's what I liked about the softwares because it was so easy and basic to understand. I was like, I'm dumb. I need how to.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about just getting like a really complicated program, just like diving in the deep end that I like to do. And I just like kind of like trying to keep my head above water.
But you learn so much that way.
You do. And once you do learn it, the reason it's complicated is because there's so many different things you can do with it.
Oh, totally. And
this goes for anything, yeah.
It's the variables. Like you can say with your music and stuff, you can add more layers or take away layers, make them softer, change, like, I don't frigging know, but stuff.
Stuff I can't do.
Exactly.
That's good. So what was your experience like hosting shuffle classes like in front of actual people rather than behind a screen? What was that like?
Oh, I almost puked before my first one because I was so anxious. Like I think it's so funny because I started off teaching and the studio that was taking me as a teacher, as a drop-in teacher, I'd actually danced there before. Like I was a student there dancing. So there was already a connection made. So I asked the studio and I asked the owner and I was like, hey, like, can I do a shuffle class? Like, would you be down for that? And she was like, yeah, of course. So I did it and people ended up liking it. And now one of my like best older friends is a mom that's famous on TikTok and she took my shuffling class and she's just really dope. Like it's just weird things like that you can make memories of, right? And I personally, I taught that first class really badly. Like I can say that I taught it very badly, but with time, just like anything, you're going to get better at it and you're going to get better at teaching it and teaching it to other people. And since then I've done online classes and one-on-one classes in person as well as like mini group settings as well. And people tend to really receive my teaching well. So I'm thankful for that because I don't know how to explain things really well.
Well, yeah, and it's a process. Like your first 100 anything is not going to be that good. Your first 100 songs, first 100 videos, first 100 podcasts might be different, but yeah, it's definitely a learning experience, and you kind of just go with the flow and you learn on the way. It's the only way to really do things these days.
Exactly. You just roll with the punches.
What was the age demographic like
I'll check it right now if you want.
for that one class?
Oh, for the one class? Oh, it was it was all women and they were all above 30.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was thinking it would be more in like the teen to 20 area. Interesting.
Oh. That was partially my fault though because I didn't promo the class very well. So if there was better promo, like on TikTok, like that was when I was doing those classes, I didn't really have my TikTok started. So now it's more like I'm focused on TikTok. I'm focused on promoting things through my account and making sure that people know what I'm up to and what I'm doing and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's gotten easier because I've learned those things throughout the past year and a bit.
Yeah, you're killing the TikTok game for sure. I love there's this one video that keeps coming up, the one where you fall.
Yeah, that one. I don't think I'll ever stop sharing that one because that was taken last week. And what had happened was I'd gone for just like a quick shuffle sesh outside. This was the second video I took, okay? The second video. I usually take like 4 or 5. And I like landed half on the curb and half on the road, and my ankle went flat to the ground, like straight down. And I actually had to crop the video because there was more time of me just like just holding onto my ankle. So yeah, I don't know. I just found it really funny, and I was really happy that I caught it on video because I'm like, now I can just laugh at myself.
And I love that. I love the confidence that you have in yourself, especially with the posting with all the rave clothing on and just being comfortable in your own body.
That has definitely taken a lot because, like, personally, I wear sweatpants and sweatshirts all the time. Like, you know this, you've been on calls with me. And for me, that's where I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable covering up my body just because that's how I was raised. Like, I was raised in a Christian household. So basically anything too revealing, I was not allowed to wear. Like, yeah, just stuff like that. I was just used to wearing baggy clothes to just cover myself up. And then when I found like rave wear and stuff, I started feeling more confident and being like, hey, like I actually kind of look good in this, you know, I might try and do something with this. And after I sort of just kept getting more rave items, I just kept getting more confident in them. And it's funny because all my rave outfits I'm so confident in. Like, I've taken pictures out in public with my rave outfits on, but like if I'm just around a group of friends, like that's going to be so awkward for me because I'm just not comfortable with my body in that way. Like if I'm going to a rave, I know that people don't care. People will accept you for how you're dressing because that's just how it is. It's the plur community. It's the EDM community. They're going to accept you pretty much no matter what. But with other people and like, especially adults, I actually got a lot of backlash from my parents for posting what I did because they were saying that it was too revealing and that I was sending all the wrong signals. But for me, I just kept on doing it because I was like, this is something that I feel I can go somewhere with. This is something that I feel confident in. This is like the one place where I actually feel like pretty and beautiful. And I actually feel not validated, but uplifted by the other girls and other people in the community. So that's why I continue to do it, you know.
And it's so much bigger than you because it goes around. And even maybe I might not wear clothes like that, but just seeing the confidence that you have to post that makes me look at myself and be like, why am I holding anything back?
Exactly. Like that for me was one of the biggest learning curves of last year and this year's learning who I was personally and learning what I'm capable of bringing to the table. Like, you know what? I got this. I got this. I got this. Why not make something out of it? Why not do something that I love, something that brings me joy and makes me happy and makes me feel good? And you know what? Yeah, I've gotten backlash for it. I've had people call me like a hoe and say, you can't dress like that. And I just nodded my head and smiled.
You just got to do you and
Yeah,
really follow your heart. And if that's kind of the direction it's going, then good on
totally.
you.
Like, no one else is going to be you. And you can't have anybody else telling you how to live your life. Otherwise, you're just going to be unhappy. Like, that's one of the things that I'm really focused on right now is I'm focused on what do I really want to do, which for me was really starting my YouTube channel and putting a lot of effort and work into it, because I've loved editing videos for so long that for me it was kind of like a waste because I took video editing classes in high school. Like I I love making mini movies and mini skits and writing scripts and all that stuff. And like I loved filming and being behind the camera, like editing, all that different stuff. So I found that with YouTube, I could put both fun, weird ideas that I have and then like my personality and my editing skills all together. And then I can, you know, come up with something that I hope people will like.
Yeah. And that's really cool to just figure out what you're best at, what your gifts are, and to mosh posh them all into something and package it up so you can give it to the audience to receive and enjoy.
Totally. And I mean, you know, there's things for different people. Like I know some people don't listen to podcasts and other people listen to podcasts religiously. Some people don't like watching YouTube videos and like listening to podcasts instead, but other people are the other way.
Well,
It's
that
all personal preference. Like you got to cater to your audience.
100%. It's all personal preference, which is why you kind of have, if you want to be a bit more dominant, you got to work the market in that way. That's why, for example, this podcast is not only going on to Spotify, it'll go on YouTube and then cut it up and you can throw it into Instagram. It can go anywhere, really.
Oh, totally. And I'm like, I'm super excited for that for you too, because that's just going to give you more exposure and it's going to give you more chances to, for this podcast to be discovered and for other people to learn other things about different artists.
Yeah, I found that I wasn't really reaching my potential. I guess I'm still not. And I don't know if we will ever reach our potential. I think it's a fictional thing that's like way up there that like you're always trying to reach that you'll never get to because you can always be better.
I think that, yeah, that's a good mentality to have because it's one of those things where if you're content and satisfied, you're not going to grow. And you need to grow, especially right now in these times, like with everything that's happening, it's crucial for us to have this personal growth and personal understanding of who we are.
Yeah, I totally hear you on that. Like, I feel like there was this divide when COVID hit where there was some people who took the time off to relax. Maybe they've worked for like years and they need a break, and that's good. Like
Yeah,
you just got to do what's best for you. But for myself, I really took this time to kind of work on myself as a person, as a brand, as an artist. And I think the podcast is just one of those things that was always in the back of my mind that I wanted to do, but you give yourself those lies of, oh, there's not enough time or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
totally. It's one of those things that's not as important. Um,
but yeah, exactly. You deem it as not important, but then you're helping people. So
exactly. So it's like one of those things where it's you just you got to share it with other people. Like if you don't share it, other people won't know. And that's the thing that I kind of love about the platforms that we use. It's like we're always getting people to learn things. Like no matter whether it's your vlogs or uh, some weird fact that I throw into my Instagram captions.
or a shuffle tutorial.
Yeah, like it's you. I always want people to learn something because that's how you're going to grow.
And yeah, you always have to be developing your mind and your body, just because if you do just kind of stay at the same playing field, you're not going to feel, I mean, you might feel content. I wouldn't think you're satisfied though.
Um,
There's
I
something
would not be satisfied.
but not necessarily to say it's a bad thing.
No, it's not. I mean, if that's your groove, then fuck
Hmm.
yeah, go for it. But personally, that's not my groove. I like to continue to learn. I like to push myself to do different things, to challenge myself, and to be really just like the best person that I can be.
And to add on to that, I feel like, especially lately, I've been really focused on being the best person, but within balance. So not just the craft, not just the music, but also the exercise, the eating well, the meditation, which that's one area that I've really been wanting to dive into that I've been kind of slacking.
Yeah, no, meditation is seriously such a good release that I very much need to get back into again.
It's totally underrated. It's like the first thing I take off of my list when I'm like, oh, I got a busy day. Let's take out meditation. But for real, that should be a priority.
Oh,
It's
totally. Like self care really is at the core of everything. Like if you don't have self care, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to grow. You're not going to go anywhere because you're going to be stuck in this little ball crying and have your mom come home just to feed you lunch, like me yesterday. Like it's not good. It's, you got to continue to grow. It's just how life is.
and I think the biggest worry that I had, especially when I started out, and I'm sure a lot of you out there experience this as well, is just to see the amount of work that you have to accomplish to get to where you want to go. And at the start, that will look very discouraging. And in fact, that's the reason a lot of people don't go down this path. Even if it is their dream, they might decide to work some corporate job or go down a different route just because it's such a huge mountain to climb. But I guarantee once you get to the where you want to go, it'll be all worth it. And it's honestly, it's worth it in the process, I find. Just the
Totally. Like
process of working your way there.
the baby steps, that's half of the journey because the people that I've met throughout this past year and a bit, they're amazing people and they blow my mind with their wisdom and creativity and just outgoingness, right? And like, yeah, it's gonna be a lot. You're not gonna want to do it some days. Like there are definitely days when I sit in my bed and I'm like, I don't want to shuffle. I don't want to shuffle. Nope, not today. But I get up and do it, or I just pass my phone to my mom and I'm like, hey, can you record me just so that I have motivation to do this, right?
Yeah. And one thing that I've noticed is it's all about the not dedication. Well, it is about that, but it's more like the push to really do it when you don't want to, because that's when the people give up. That's when I have given up in the past.
I have to.
And that's what separates the professionals from the amateurs. It's to push through when you don't want to.
Yeah, totally. And it's like I am at the base of the mountain of where I want to be, but I know that I can see it. Like, I'm not in the forest anymore. I can see the top of the mountain. Like, so I know that, yeah, it's going to be a hell of a lot of work. I'm probably going to cry a lot more, but that's just a process. And that's just how it's going to be. I'm going to discover more about myself. I'm going to create more connections with people. And I'm going to learn more about myself. I think I already said that.
There's a quote that I actually really like. It's an extraordinary life takes extraordinary work.
Yeah,
So you got to put in the work that not a lot of people are willing to do in order to get what you want.
well, yeah, a lot of people these days, they just want to sit around and watch Netflix. Like, let's be honest, a lot of people these days are just lazy. They don't want to actually go out and pursue something and learn something and go through the challenges and the roadblocks and the frustrations of learning again.
I felt that honestly first week of like COVID, I was just kind of playing Xbox, not really doing too much. And then what happened? Something just like clicked brain. I don't know if I watched like a video or if there was just the spike one day, but I decided that, okay, this is the last day I'm going to be on my ass. And from then on, I've continued to sit on my ass, but doing something else, working on music and podcasts and stuff.
So yeah, it's all about that consistency, and consistency really is part of the key of why my account has grown and why my shuffle journey has grown. Because if I wasn't consistent, like, because yeah, I did take breaks. I'd say about 5 breaks within the past year, but they were all me stepping back to reevaluate myself because I was getting too caught up in the likes. I was getting too caught up in the comments and the numbers and the followers, and I wasn't happy anymore. So I took a step back from my account, and I really used that time to just grow and really research like why my account wasn't growing, why I'm not happy with these things, right? So
100%. You can get kind of lost in the process of creating and posting. And that's when I took my week off. I had so much clarity after, because you're not worried about actual doing it, and you're kind of thinking more bigger picture and
totally.
where you want to go with it, because there's so many different directions, and it can get very confusing as an artist because there's no roadmap.
Oh, totally. Like it's weird because we're in this weird niche where it's you kind of got to post really often. And then but if you post too often, it's like not good. And then people won't watch your videos and stuff like that. So it's just it's hard to figure out, and it takes a lot of time and work and effort, and I just don't think people are willing to do that now. Like they'd rather just give up and watch Outer Banks or something.
Yeah, I can tell you this for sure. If you have a big dream out there, something artistic, like, for example, you want to play Coachella or something, whatever it is, you want to make a painting that goes in a museum. It's so doable. Like, you don't understand how easy it is for you to get it, but you have to work really hard. If you are willing to like actually post 2 to 3 times a day on most platforms and create your art while making a podcast, maybe having a YouTube channel, it's going to be a lot of work. I guarantee it. And you're going to have to work a lot of the weekends and after hours, but you'll get there. And that's a fact. If you put in the work, you will get there unless you die.
That's straight facts. The only thing in life that is certain are death and taxes.
I was not expecting that one.
Pulling out my little dad phrase.
So do you see yourself becoming more of a dance instructor? Do you want to be more of like somebody who's on stage doing the shuffling? Like where do you actually, like if you envision in your brain the exact moment you want to be in?
For me, it's again, it's not really the whole like making a career out of it. It's more of I want to do collaborations and build connections with this
It's
brand.
so it's the personal part that you like.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it's the social interactions and the difference you can make in people's lives. And I've even seen it from your content. Some of those comments that you get, people just absolutely thrive off of your energy because a lot of the times people are feeling down. I feel down. Everyone does. And you just need a little boost, a little spike, a little
Totally.
motivation to kind of get you going. And that's okay. Everyone gets to that point where they need a little oomph. And I think that as creators, as artists, we kind of have, I feel like we have a social responsibility to our fans to kind of deliver that.
Well, that's the whole thing about being an influencer, right? Like
Mhm.
that is the whole purpose of being an influencer is to influence other people. And for me, like I can't influence other people and tell them that I'm happy all the time because I'm not. Like that's just not me. I am sad and I cry a lot. And you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, I just want everyone out there to know that it's really okay to have your shitty days. We all have shitty days. And as long as you don't dwell on it, that's the most important takeaway. If you can take anything away from this episode, just don't dwell on what happened in the past, what happened yesterday. That's done. It's over. You kind of have to start every day with fresh eyes and just ready to combat whatever comes your way.
And laugh at yourself. Don't forget to laugh at yourself.
Laugh at yourself, have fun with it too.
Totally.
That's another part of it that I wouldn't say I get lost in often, but I find myself taking it too seriously when you're kind of, I'm sure you find this with dance, but
Totally.
when I'm making music, sometimes I'll take it way too seriously. Like it's to the point where like it has to be perfect and it's just not like enjoyable at that moment.
It's really not. And that's when I really try and focus on taking a step back and being like, why am I so frustrated about this? Because it's something that is supposed to bring people joy and yet it's making me frustrated. So this is not working how it's supposed to.
And I mean, that's just one of the things you have to work through. And like you said, taking that step back and just being more self aware and centered and really thinking about your thoughts and your actions and what you're doing.
And what you want to give to people too, like what you can give to people. Like I think everyone has something that they can offer that will help benefit this world. So I think that if you take the chance and you offer that, then you can actually get some pretty good feedback.
100%. Everybody has gifts out there. And I had a hard time finding mine. And I'm sure a lot of you do as well. But one thing that I found is the more you, it's okay, it's not about the numbers in the posts, but it's about the people that you change, the lives that you affect.
It's the real followers that you have, the real people that interact with you, the ones that care, the ones that will buy your stuff.
Exactly. And if you're having trouble finding your gift, one thing that I did was you just post one thing a day and eventually you find out what your gift is because you start posting what you like. And if you, I don't know, like comic books, then you kind of turn into this comic book guy. And yeah, that's in my opinion, one of the best ways to find your gift is to just talk about it.
And like that's like everyone has a gift. And I think that if you're having trouble finding it, then take a step back, just sort of look at yourself, look at yourself and be like, what am I good at? What can I do that can help other people?
What would you say to those who are having trouble hitting that post? Like maybe they're confident in front of the camera, but to actually get it out there in front of their peers, they might be a little self-conscious or overthinking it. Is there any advice you could give?
Um, that's when I sort of come back to the whole you need to be able to laugh at yourself. Because if you can laugh at yourself, then you're not taking it too seriously. You're not really worried about what the return is because you think it's funny. You think it's good. You think it's something that someone would laugh at. And if you want to do it and you want to post it, go for it. There is nothing stopping you except for if it's nudes. Don't do that on Instagram. But like seriously, if you want to do whatever the fuck you want to do. There's no one stopping you. And if people tell you that you can't do it, then just do it anyways.
Yeah, fuck up. That I feel like when people say you can't do it, it just gives you more drive to do it, to prove them wrong.
Yeah, that's kind of why I stepped up my rave outfits because my mom was getting really mad at me for doing them. So, sorry, mom.
But on another note, I feel that you will make your parents way more proud becoming your own person than taking after them. As much as they want you to take after them, if they see that you have your own values, your own beliefs, they're going to be so proud of you, whether they say it or not.
Totally. And I think that's going to be something that I really come into the next couple of years. But for me, just trying to find out who I am and who I am, like what I want to do, who I want to surround myself with, things like that. It's a lot on my plate right now, but we're rolling. We're doing it.
Yeah, we keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious. Can you walk me through your morning routine? Is there anything in particular you do? Or is it, is it like a wake up at 3:00?
I'm pretty sure you know my morning routine. Okay, so I usually wake up and my dog sleeps with me, so I'll cuddle him and yeah, he's chilling.
I know. He's so cute. I've seen him like walk around in the back a few times. Oh, there he is.
But yeah, he sleeps with me on my bed, so I'll usually cuddle him in the mornings. And then I drink some water because I always have water right by my bed. You got to stay hydrated in the mornings.
You got to stay hydrated, not just the morning, but throughout the day. Okay. That's one thing that sorry, I'm going to go on a tangent real quick.
Go for it.
That's one thing that I've found is I would get headaches or just like be more tired. But once you actually like take into consideration that you're supposed to drink like 8 liters of water a day, or is it like 4? It's 8 cups. So yeah, like 4 liters. I don't
even know. I drink a lot of water. I have this Gatorade water bottle that I fill up like 6 times a day. And that's fine.
Yeah, but it just makes such a huge difference. If you find that you're getting tired too soon, or if you're kind of not there mentally, please just drink water. It's like, it sounds so simple, and it's actually kind of funny that we have to say it.
Yeah, but seriously, stay hydrated. Like, people don't remember to stay hydrated. They'll drink pop, they'll drink coffee, they'll drink tea. But like, when was the last time you had water? Go get yourself a cup of water right now. Like, and then water also works really good in the mornings to wake you up. Like, if you have ice cold water in the mornings, it works better than coffee. I can attest to this.
100%. And the other thing is it gives you that little bit of liquid in your stomach to kind of get you going.
Totally. It gives you that little boost.
A little boost. Anyways, back to your day, your morning routine. So you drink your water.
I drink my water, and then I will go on Instagram and check all my DMs and all that fun stuff. Like, just go through all my socials, check all my emails. Usually then if I have editing I need to do, I'll do that in the mornings too. It's a pretty chill mornings. I usually like to get out and shuffle in the afternoon. So
I'm curious what your relationship with Instagram feed is. Do you see it as like, I don't know, I have like this thing with the feed where like it's an addiction, but it's also like you're seeing into people's lives, and it's important to reciprocate with others and have conversations. What do you kind of feel about the feed?
For me, well, I'm in an engagement group, so I do have to kind of comment on other people's posts and like them and stuff. But for me, I just find my feed to be kind of annoying. Like, I have the people that I want to see, and if there's like unnecessary posts and stuff like that, I just get mad. So I'll just go off of Instagram. Like, I honestly, I barely ever spend time on my feed. I have post notifications on for people that matter. Like, that's just how I roll, and that's honestly, like, if you want to spend hours scrolling through your feed, like, that's totally okay. You do you. But for me, I'd rather spend my hours scrolling through TikTok. It's addicting, okay?
It is addicting, and this is why I like to bring it up, because one thing that's kind of helped me, I'm not perfect, but I feel so much better setting a chunk of time during the day and say, this is the time where I'm going to scroll or look at other people's stuff or whatever, browse. Half hour, hour a day. That way, the whole day, you're not getting sidetracked on your phone. And that's one of the biggest problems that I face is I'll be in the middle of a track and maybe I'll get stuck immediately. Like, it'll just like click right to the phone. And it's such a bad habit that I've been trying to correct, and I've been trying different ways. And I think this has really worked for me. And maybe it might work for some of you too.
Uh,
But
yeah, I have my phone on Do Not Disturb all the time. So if people need to
yeah, me
actually
too.
contact me, I have them set as like an emergency bypass, so I'll actually get their message. But other than that, I don't see my Snapchats, I don't see my Instagram stuff, I don't see my TikTok notifications, I don't see my Messenger, my Facebook, my YouTube, like literally anything. I go on my phone when I want to, and that's the thing that I really like about that.
That's the thing is you have to be conscious about when you're picking up your phone.
Yeah, I my screen time has been all over the place these last couple of weeks. Like the 3 weeks ago, I think it was at like 9 hours or something. It was stupid. Uh, like for me, that's a lot of time. Well, for anyone, that's a lot of time on their phone. And this past week, it was down to under 2 hours. So it's like, it varies.
What app do you gravitate towards the most?
TikTok, just because I find that I can learn different things. There's also a bunch of different niches that I can go look at. Like, say I wanted to go look at funny relationship posts, right? Because me and my boyfriend are hanging out and we want to go see something relatable. Like, I can go and see that stuff on TikTok, or when I see shuffle tutorials, there's a shit ton on TikTok. Like, especially with finding other shufflers too. That's what I really like to use TikTok for, is to find other people that like to do what I do and would find my content interesting.
Yeah, social media is it's very weird and unique system because it can be so many things. It could be your workspace, it could be your business, but it can also be an addiction and entertainment.
Totally.
Uh, it's it has so much power and potential, and it's all about how you use it, really.
A lot of people find, like, I find when I hang out with people that are around my age, all they'll do is just sit around on their phone.
Oh my gosh.
Pisses me off to the freaking max. Like, if I'm hanging out with you, it's because I want to spend time with you, not you and your phone.
I've literally been in a situation where someone invites me over, I go over, hang out, and they're literally on their phone the whole time. I straight up just like said nothing. I just got up and like left.
Yeah, no, I've done that before too. I've had people over at my house and I've had to basically kick them off their phones because I'm like, no, you're over here if you want to be here, and if you want to actually like spend time with me, spend time with the other people that are here. You're not going to spend time with other fucking people on your phone. Like it makes me so mad. I'll use my phone just for music, but like that's
Mhm.
it. Like if you're with people, put your phone away, please.
And people are with you because they value your time, or at least that's why
Totally.
they're supposed to be there.
Don't waste their time. Don't let them waste yours. Like it's
That's another big thing. Sorry to cut you off, but it's about valuing yourself and your time. Because when you really value your time, you're not just saying, I'm hanging out with you. You're saying, I'm hanging out with you instead of doing my craft. And
yeah,
that's a
totally.
huge difference.
Totally. Like there's the amount of times that I've told people that I can't hang out because I'm filming or I'm creating choreo or prepping for a class. Like there's just all these different reasons. They're all like, why can't you hang out? And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I have work to do. And they're like, what work? And I'm like, Instagram work. Like it's a lot of work. And like I don't know about you, but I put at least a good 3 hours, I'd say, into each post that I do with the taking pictures, editing, or like taking the video and editing it. And then creating the caption, doing the tags, tagging people in the posts. Like there's so much that goes into these posts that I don't think people realize too.
Time management is a huge thing. And if you're not careful, it will definitely slip away from you. And
Oh yeah.
the biggest, I would say, weapon against it is self-awareness. Especially thinking of yourself in like third person as like, okay, let's review the day and see what happened. And
And that's why uh like I think a lot of people should journal is because even if
mhm,
you're not like even if you don't really care that much, it's good to document what happened in that day.
100%. And journaling is a way of exactly, it's a way of reviewing your day, of becoming more aware of what you're doing with your time,
Totally.
because your time is so valuable. Like, think about it. You had the gift to even wake up today. And how did you spend your day? I hope that you feel good about how you spend your day, because you're not going to get it back. And if you don't feel good about how you spent it, don't worry about it. There's going to be tomorrow, maybe. And when tomorrow comes, you better work your best, because you're going to lose that day too.
Totally. And I think it's making your time worth it, making sure that you achieve what you want to achieve during that day. Like say if I want to create a TikTok for today, say I'm gonna I'll block away like an hour just to film TikToks, just filming. Um, and then I'll block away like another hour just to go through the drafts and edit them and filter them and like all those different things. And the other day, actually, it's kind of funny that you mentioned the time slipping away from you, is because I spent 3 hours without knowing it making one TikTok dance. So, yeah, yeah.
One thing that comes to my mind, though, is, would you consider that a good day, a productive day? Because you did end up getting something done, and yeah, it might have taken longer, but maybe it was the piece of content that did really well. I don't know. But at the same time, it was 3 hours on one post, which is.
That's for TikTok for me, that's too much.
Mhm.
Like TikToks for me, they should take me an hour at most to edit and film. Like that is TikToks for me is you got to be fun, you got to be authentic, and you got to be fast and quick and catch your viewers' attention. Um, so for me in TikTok, I'm like, shit, what do I do? Like, how do I make this drop interesting and stuff like that? So it's a lot of thinking.
Authenticity is huge.
Totally.
uh, just being able to really be yourself and be an artist and indulge it and embrace it. Tell the world what you love and what your passions are. one thing is you might start off and say, who cares? Like, I only have 200 followers. I like, why would it even matter? But I can guarantee you that it will make a difference in somebody's life, because I know when someone has talked about their passion of making music, it just boosts me even more. When people talk about what they love, you can see like a glimmer in their eyes and like a smile on their face because they love it.
Yeah, totally. It's one of those things where it's when you love someone, or not someone, when you love something and you do it, your joy just shines throughout the whole project that you're doing because you love it and people can see that you love it and it's radiating off of you and it inspires other people.
Yeah, the audience can definitely tell too when you're being authentic and when you're being fake. It's
Oh yeah.
blatantly obvious. And for sure, when I see you shuffling, uh, there's no question that you love it. It's definitely your passion. You can see that huge smile on your face. And I just want all of you out there to embrace your inner artist and show that smile and tell your story. Show
Totally.
everyone your passion.
Like, give the world something. You have something to offer. I know you do. So show it and share it with the world because the world needs it.
The world needs it. There's a lot of noise out there, a lot of hate,
A lot of activity. It's just
negativity.
bad.
They could use as many people as they can get to really boost each other up. And that's what I think a lot of communities are trying really hard to do. I see it a lot in the EDM community because they're all about that plur life, that accepting each other, and just saying that we're all going through life and no one knows what we're doing, but we're all going through it together.
Totally. And it's one of those things where like a lot of the people in the EDM community, they're so welcoming and so comfortable and accepting that I feel like I've gone to people in the EDM community about my personal problems before. Like a couple weeks ago, my boyfriend ended up cheating on me, and we'd been dating for over a year, and that just like completely broke me, right? So I actually messaged some people in the EDM community, and I was like, hey, like, has anybody else gone through this? Because I just need some support right now, right? And I got really amazing feedback from so many people. So I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out though is like any community, you're going to get a few people who are on the opposite side of the spectrum, even though most of the people are nice and embracing, you will get some backlash and you will get some people who their life's not going well.
Yeah,
That's being frank. That's why they're not posting good stuff. That's why they're spewing hate or just like cynicism. It's because their life is not where they want it to be. So they take it out on everybody else.
totally. And I mean, you just can't let that get to you. Like, I remember when I started shuffling, I had these two people in my town. They took one of my pictures that I had taken that I was like super confident in, right? And they mimicked it because I was wearing leg wraps in it. They mimicked it with Christmas lights and just like slandered me on Instagram. And I think that was one of the biggest learning curves for me was because I realized that, you know what, like I'm sharing this and I am going to get backlash because people don't like it. And I'm going to have to grow past that because that is, unfortunately, it's just life. And it's like, fortunately, I haven't really gotten any hate since then. The only hate that I've gotten is what is the purpose of that sweater about my yellow sweater? But I mean, it's a crop sweater. So like, but like, it's just one of those things that you have to move past and you're going to have to grow through and it's going to hurt and it's going to hurt a lot. But once you grow from it, you're just going to be able to be stronger.
And what comes to my mind when I hear this story, and I got to say, you're so strong for getting through that, and I'm really proud of you. But what comes to my mind is usually when people tend to make a difference, that's when the backlash happens. And so when you start to see it, don't think of it as a negative, because it means you're making a difference, and it means you're pushing the boundary of the way people think
And what's normal. Yeah.
and what's normal.
Box.
Yeah, everyone lives in the box, and so when you push that boundary, people are definitely going to be like, what is this guy doing?
People get uncomfortable. People don't like things that aren't familiar to them, and some of them retaliate, unfortunately.
Yeah, it reminds me of like TikTok and how people retaliated at the beginning. No one really got on it, and then all the kids were on it, and then slowly enough, now it's pretty much any demographic, and it's a norm now. So you see how it kind of got backlash at the beginning when it was making a difference.
Yeah.
But now almost everyone has TikTok on their phone right now.
Yeah.
And it's a normal pretty much.
Yeah, it's number 2 in the App Store, actually. I don't know if you know this, but it's number 2. It's above YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Messenger. It's above everything.
Oh, damn. What's number 1? Is it Spotify?
I think so.
I wonder if I think it's like Spotify or Insta. Anyways.
I want to go look at it. I want to see the top apps.
But yeah, again, I just want to say thank you so much for being on here. I think we're bringing a lot of people value, and
totally.
It's amazing to like pick apart your brain and see what you think about life.
The top app is Zoom.
Zoom? I was not expecting what? That's crazy. I would not expect Zoom, but it makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. That's crazy.
I think it makes sense because a lot of people are just lonely and doing conference calls with their friends and not wanting to do it over laptops.
It's ironic because we're on Zoom right now.
Oh, yeah, but no problem for coming on this podcast. It was such a great time talking to you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Why don't you go ahead and shout out your Insta and your socials?
So my Instagram is baseangel.kt, and I do a lot more shuffling as well as rave stuff. And then my TikTok is baseangelkt, but there is no dot. There is no dot whatsoever. It's one word. And then my YouTube, it's linked in my TikTok bio as well as my Instagram bio, but it is also just baseangelkt, but with spaces in between them. So that's it. If you want to go follow me there, I would love to have you join my little angel fam.
Perfect. You really opened your heart on this one. So please, everybody, show her some love. Give her some support. Thank you so much for coming on. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a good day.